Guys, this is West of Ireland grade A, and I am making here, finishing an old project. Okay, so long story short, about 8 years ago I made myself a blanket. I knitted the whole blanket. It's fabulous. It's been my yoga blanket for 8 years, pretty much 8, 9 years, something like that. It took me a year, so it's about 9 years ago I started it, and it took me a year to knit it because it got really, really heavy. But it's in now kind of continuous use, and it's in my car. So when I'm going to do classes or practice or anything, I have that blanket with me. What made me to find out that I don't have a blanket at home. Now, about 2 years ago, I made this blanket, and this is a square blanket. It's from, where's that book? Highly recommend that book. It's actually the second pattern from that book. My first, can't find it. Yeah, I can't find it right now. It is somewhere here because the first blanket what I made 9 years ago is from the same book. So it's a fantastic knitting book for a home, and I think I can't find it because I have a half finished project somewhere there from that book, because it is an incredible. It's for a home. There's a few bits clothing as well. I haven't got to do them yet. We'll get there. So I made this blanket, and because it's a patchwork blanket, so you make the squares, each square is separately. It is very difficult to. Then you have to kind of, if you stitch it together, I can show you here. It has a lot of ends loose, so it's not really a nice blanket to use it to cover yourself up. Okay, so you need to kind of someone said, let's line it up with something now, and fleece would be fantastic. Now, I am a big advocate saying using natural products on your skin. Now, this is a blanket, so I do say covering up with a fleece or using acrylic wool, because the other blanket is on an acrylic wool as well, is not a bad idea. Why? Because it gets so much wear and tear, and acrylic wool is absolutely fantastic on that. You can wash it in a cool wash, flat dry. It works really well, and it lasts you forever. So adding a fleece in the back of it gonna give a good life for it, and it is a perfect size. Now, fleece, you can go and buy a fleece. I did not buy a fleece. Okay, I had another project during the winter where we needed to use this kind of a material, right? It's like a wool, it's like a sheep wool felting for inside of it. It was a sample for a shawl, and instead of going and buying an expensive material for a sample, we just got a blanket what was on the sale, and we only used this side, and it had at that side on the other side. So I'm like, fantastic, I have leftovers, I'm gonna use it, and I'm gonna see how it works out. At the moment I've only one side done, so you can see it more as I'm stitching along. It comes together really fine. It's actually really nice. I like the color contrast, and if this is going to work, this is going to be my home yoga blanket, and it's going to be so warm. I can't wait, and I probably have to hide it from my kids because I'm pretty sure they will be stealing it. Because yeah, this household actually has dedicated wardrobe for blankets. That's how many blankets we have in our household already. So it is like, you're really gonna go like, another blanket? You will see a lot of me making blankets, and you're kind of like, you don't need another blanket, darling. You're okay, your wardrobe is full. And I'm like, I know, but I love a blanket. Or a cushions, and that's what I need to find that book. I leave the name on in the below as well. You've seen a lot of patterns. Actually, I have made a lot of patterns out of that book. What did I think I know what it is though. Anyways, so that was a thing. If you don't like, a lot of those fleece blankets at the moment are on sale, and they will last you forever. So you can go into, I don't know where you're looking at it, Walmart or whatever in Ireland. Jeez, look at the mess behind me. That's the craft room. in Ireland, Pennies, Duns, they would sell off just literally just one-sided fleece blankets for €4, €5, maybe with the inflation €6 now. But like you can get it for quite cheap, and you can make it on the other side, and it's double-sided, it's super warm. So I'll keep going, and I'll show you at the end how it looks like. So, don't shake please. So it's finished. It looks like this on one side. There's a few threads what I have to, but it looks like this on this side. And now it looks like this at the back. So there is like one thing what I was worried about it when I was doing that. You know how fleece can, like, it's still open. So I might go in with my thread and kind of point maybe a couple of places just to kind of stitch it around the blanket, just to keep it in a place. Another option is that you can go maybe even a sewing machine. I don't really want to be honest, I don't want to go use a sewing machine. That's why I kind of just maybe a stitch along the line. Now I just don't want to be really messing around too much with it either, because it is actually quite cool. So I'll see how I would get on. The idea from the very beginning was that I would put a wadding or a backing on it, so it stops kind of there's thing in it. But because I wanted to do it out of, like, basically this is made out of, the whole thing here is made out of wool scraps what I had in the house. So I didn't really want to go and buy material. So I had this one, I had this one, and I made this beautiful blanket for myself for the yoga at home. So why would I go and get an extra wadding for it? I guess you can get it out of the blankets. You could use, you know, those old duvets, slim duvets. You could put like maybe a wadding between of that, and that also stops it moving around. But again, wadding, if you wash it, can come kind of loose and gather in the bulkhead. And so I might be, I thinking of just gonna maybe just get a few buttons maybe, or something, just gonna stitch it on so it doesn't move around that much. So we'll see. I'm gonna get down to that. So, okay, here we are. So I did a bit of a few stitches, but you see, because it's kind of a pull on one side, hard to see it this side. That's the blankie. Now I'm gonna wrap myself in, get a cup of tea, put on Disney Plus, and good night.